want to do a video using all this lot. How do I do that? Keep watching. So I used the AI to research what I wanted to do, and this is all that came up, and I've speeded it up a lot quicker than it took to run through it, about 3 minutes worth here, and it was very, very quick, and it gave a lot of information. Now these were photos, but I couldn't use them because of copyright. So the first time I used it, I tried to get a picture of a Class 43 HST in Paddington Station, and this is what it came up with. I then further asked it to try and actually do a video, but it couldn't, and all it could do was pictures getting nearer, but it didn't keep the same picture, so it doesn't always work. So for this video I asked for details of goods trains between those dates, as you can read, and this is what it came up with. And what you saw at the beginning was the whole lot that came up with things. So let's have a look at this. So please feel free to freeze it at any point to read it. And as you can see, it brought up the locomotives. So that's what the locomotives are there. But I didn't have many of these. Only the Black 5 and the Class 31. So I just put ones in that I thought might be okay. And then, as you can see, it brings up quite a lot of information, and you get to a point where it gets to the end, and then you can ask it to do more, which is what I did. So how are we going to use this? Well, I'm just going to try and do what this mentioned, and see if I can just put a very short video of a typical journey. Now it won't be. These were all made up of different journeys, so it won't really tie in with this, but it just gives you a rough idea. And the point is, how long would it have taken you to research all this amount of information? This took literally 5 minutes. So if you're going to build a layout and you want all the details and everything, this is surely the way to go. Now yes, it might not be absolutely accurate, that's one of the problems with it maybe, but I certainly think it's worth using if you want to do this sort of thing. So let's see what I cobbled together really for this, and yes, I'm going to use my two layouts that you see there. So yeah, it should be quite interesting. I'll try and make it not too long, I think. So yeah, just short bits. So yeah, it all starts at the local level, and here we are at my end-to-end, and the passenger train's in the station that wants to be used for a bit of shunting, so we need to get her out of the way. But in the background, the 15XX is getting ready to get do a bit of shunting and get a train ready to go out, which it will pull to the distribution area where these long trains were made up. So off goes the Ginty. In a peculiar mix of carriages, I must admit, but there we are. But hopefully all the passengers will get to where they want to go, which you can't always say today, can you? In whichever mode of transport you want to use. So the 15XX is now going to go and collect some of these wagons. Some of them are up by the unloading shed, and some are outside, just the other side of the the bridge, in some sidings. So let's pull those into the platform line track where the guards van's already been positioned. As you might notice at the back of these wagons, they're grey, and they mean that they're not braked by the engine, so they're unfitted. So this is a combination of fitted and unfitted, and the diamond ones are fitted. So you need to make your train up in the right order, to be honest. And if it's unfitted or partly fitted, it does reduce the speed that they can travel at. So let's get the 15XX out and pick up the other wagons, and then we can get this train off on to its destination to be used on a bigger train. So here they come, and yes, I'm not sure one of these would be included. It might be a bit too modern, but okay, whatever. And it's cement, circular cement, and these are just general wagons with goods in, although you might think that they are for bananas, which to be honest they are, but never mind. I do have a limited amount of rolling stock. So here we are, we're all ready to go, I think. So gently away. Have to be careful that the unfitted freight doesn't sort of do a big jerk and break away from the train. And that's why you have a goods van, to keep an eye on the train, really. That's what the guard does. And yes, it should have more lights on it, but I haven't got them. So here we are on the way to the distribution area. And here we are pulling into the distribution area. And the imagination is quite useful, so good dose of imagination, please, everybody. So it pulls over the set of points slowly and then speeds up a little bit to get down. And obviously in the background is some passenger stock that's being rested. The 411 EMU. So others are arriving, and as you can see, a mixed bag of wagons, and in the background you can see the shunter. And you might notice a shunter's truck on the back with one of the men sitting down and one talking to him. It's a lot of hard work, all this. It takes a lot of labour to move these all about. So hopefully the engines that have brought in the wagons will probably give a hand. And finally it's all made, and in this particular case the Black 5 is hauling the train. And this will now go to its furthest destination, where most of this wagons are destined for, and then again it will be broken up into smaller trains. So this being a semi-fitted train, it will be limited to speed, and in the details it sort of said about 30 miles an hour. Well, I've shown it probably a bit quicker than that, but yeah. And there was a lot of delay in getting these things. This is why the whole system would take about 3 days to move from one to the other. As you can see, there's quite a mixture of rolling stock here. There's the beginnings of the container train type wagon. This mixed freight type train wasn't unique, and some trains that had perishables, say for instance bananas, they were even hauled by A4s. Probably not mallard, but A4s, because they needed to get to where they wanted to go quickly. And as you can see, they were just made up of banana wagons. And they used to rush around everywhere. Not just with bananas, but perishable produce, I suppose. And the 101 was still delivering its passengers. So, having had another big train back to the original depot, it was sorted out, and this was what was allowed for our little depot where we started from. So as you can see, a Ginty brought in the train, which admittedly wasn't very long this time. So it ran round the train. And it will appear in a minute from behind the tree. And wanted to be moved up to near the unloading sheds. So did the usual manoeuvres. Quite slowly. Coupled up again. Even more manpower. It was very, very manpower hungry in the old days. I think British Rail employed over 300,000 people, workers, if not more. So this needs to be removed before maybe another passenger train might arrive. So the train will be put into the siding by the coal unloading, and obviously the coal wagons will be left. What I don't know is these are bright red. Are they still fully fitted? Because they're not grey. I don't know. Get that out of AI. And then after the crew have had a bit of a rest, because they've had a bit of a run, they will split the banana wagons and put them into the unloading shed. So the Ginty goes slowly into the engine shed so that the crew can have a break. Do we begrudge them that? Not at all. Hard work. So we've got a 101, probably a bit out of the time scale, but never mind, that's what I've got. And you might just get a glimpse of what's going to happen next from the back end of it. We've moved on, haven't we, and we don't have all these trains that are made up of small little wagons. It's all put into containers, or most of it is, or into long trains full of the same wagons for coal, grit, whatever you want. But here's my interpretation of a container train being hauled, as you saw, by our Class 66, and this is what we get all our stuff in these days. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and comments will be welcome. Cheers everybody, but it was quite interesting to read all this information. Cheers, thank you for watching.